Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Eat Local New York podcast. And we're back after like a 6-month hiatus, finally recording some brand new episodes. And I'm excited to put this one out. This episode, the first episode back, is a series I like to call Dinner with the Candidates. I've done these over the last 6 or 7 or 8 years with the mayoral race in Syracuse, where I take the candidates, the leading candidates, out to dinner. We record a conversation, a podcast, just getting to know them and a little bit about their past and a little bit about their hopes for the future of the city of Syracuse. Dinner with the Candidates, typically I would have the top 2 prominent candidates and one in each episode. This episode is with Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens. I don't know if I'm going to have one with the Republican candidate, Thomas Babylon. It may happen. I've been talking with him back and forth. Just been difficult to kind of align schedules and lock in a day. So it may happen. It may not happen. Regardless, I'm thrilled that I get to put this episode out with the deputy mayor, and who will most likely be the next mayor of Syracuse. Wonderful conversation with her. We went to Eden, right in Hannover Square, and had dinner. They were gracious enough to open for us on a Sunday night when they're typically closed and invite us in for this episode. So just had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. If you're a city resident like I am, really no matter where you live, make sure you get out there and vote. These off-cycle elections are usually the lowest turnouts. You can get out there, cast your vote. It means a lot. These local elections, I think, have such I think they have more of an impact in our day-to-day lives than the national, but whatever. So get out there. It's important. Go cast your vote. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. If you don't follow us on social media, we announced last week Eat Local New York Restaurant Week is coming back in 2026 for the second year. This year it's going to be April 13th to the 26th. Really excited for it. Without even going crazy, we just made one announcement. We already have 25 restaurants sign up all across the state. And the Summit Federal Credit Union is our sponsor, not just for Eat Local New York Restaurant Week, but here at the podcast. And listen, like your favorite restaurant, the Summit Federal Credit Union offers up a full menu of financial products and services for every taste and budget. Wherever you are in life, find out how they have been elevating the ordinary for nearly 85 years. Visit summitfcu.org for more information on the Summit Federal Credit Union. Great group of people to work with. And I've been excited to have been working with them to bring the sponsorship about. It's going to make Eat Local New York Restaurant Week bigger and better than this year's. And it's all thanks to their sponsorship. So make sure you check them out. Well, without further ado, let's get into the podcast. This is my conversation with Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens. All right, well, we're sitting here with Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens.
Yes.
And thanks for coming out.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
Looking forward to some great food.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Eden before?
I have not. It's
Okay.
my first time.
So, great restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
One of sort of the only ones of the nicer restaurants that survived the pandemic.
Yes.
A lot of the other higher end restaurants closed. Mm-hmm. Abiyoko is technically still, used to be a mono, but anyways, Eden is great. So most of the times they cook everything over open fire. So there's no stove or oven or deep fryer. Wow. They have to build a fire every night to cook dinner. He's not doing it tonight just because of the noise, but
sure.
Yeah, great restaurant.
Great.
And my wife and I are coming here Saturday for our anniversary dinner.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
What year?
So this will be 6 years married, 8 years together.
Okay, 35 for me.
Wow. Now, how many children do you have?
I have 2 children.
You have 2, okay.
One, 34.
Okay.
And she's a downtown dweller.
Okay.
Loves living downtown.
Nice.
And my 25-year-old son lives with my husband and I. He's on the spectrum.
Okay.
Does well. Yeah. Graduated from Nottingham and got an associate's from OCC, so we're really proud of him, his accomplishment.
That's
He's
awesome.
He's gap yearing it now. I didn't really know what that was until this experience, but he's taking his time figuring it out.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What's your daughter do?
She works for a digital archiving company.
Okay.
Yeah, so records.
Yeah.
She's an artist, so
cool.
Spoken word, visual arts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that side of my brain doesn't function well, but it just boomed for her. And I've always said, I know some people. You want a job in the office? She was like, no. I want to work in my uniform, go home, and do my art.
That's cool.
And that's life for her. She loves it.
Yeah. Was your husband artistic? Is it like that?
So it's interesting. So, you know, my story is being an athlete. In high school, I was fourth sport athlete. And at Syracuse University, track athlete.
Okay.
And neither of my children are athletes. My son plays the drums, and my daughter is an artist. My husband plays the bass.
Oh, cool.
None of them are athletes.
Okay.
I had to get over that, but I eventually I got over it.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, my wife she grew up in Boonville.
Okay.
And she holds still the record for some swim.
Oh, wow.
Record for the high school for Adirondack up there.
Yeah.
And she'll say this also, that's about where her athleticism ended, started and stopped, although she still swims.
Yeah.
I was never a crazy athlete. I went to West Hill and played football and stuff, but never good. And so our son, who's 3, or he'll be 3 next week, he doesn't have a good future for athletics, but maybe if it's opposites, maybe he does. I don't know.
Sports has always been a North Star for me.
Okay.
Just something I really shined in and felt comfortable in my own skin in when I was doing sports. And sports is how I was able to. I walked in on the track team. I was a walk-on at SU. It was the inaugural women's track team. So this is back in 81 is when I went to SU.
Wow.
So back when the SU was in the Big East.
Okay.
And my second year, I earned a scholarship, and that helped me pay to stay there.
Okay.
But I did well. I mean, conference champ in a couple of sports and Olympic qualifier in the long jump. I'm a bit out of shape these days, but track really helped me get through college and help me, find my space, my own space. Sports is just it for me.
All right, I have to Google something real quick. Because you went to SU in 81.
81.
And what year did Governor Hochul go to SU?
Oh, I think she was before me.
I know she was. But I'm trying to think of what year. What year was the Miracle on Ice?
What year was that? That was the 80s, but I'm not sure when. 80 maybe?
If it was, so I got to New York Governor 76 to 80, so she graduated in 80.
The year I got to SU was when they opened the dome.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
I had the pleasure of interviewing Governor Hochul on the podcast in February.
Oh, wow.
And we did it up at Varsity Pizza because she used to work there.
Right.
And she has this story of the night of the Miracle on Ice game. She was working at Varsity, and what she referred to as the call girl. Table 4, your pizza's ready. That was her job. Right. And the Varsity was packed for that game.
It was always packed, even when I was up there.
No TVs at the time, like on the wall or anything like that. So she had a radio in one hand and a microphone for the system. And she was calling out the play-by-play of the game.
Oh my God.
At the Varsity.
Oh my goodness.
So that was a year before you went there. That's crazy.
That was a year before I went there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. And the inaugural track team. That's wild too.
Yeah. First women's track team. I go up there now to look at it was Manley Fieldhouse back then. And I got there, I think, maybe the year after Georgetown and the Hoya, that famous game when John Thompson said now Manley is officially closed. I know the testament of the love of my marriage because I married a Hoya fan. Oh, wow. So we've had interesting Syracuse Hoya watching TV moments in our family. Absolutely.
That's pretty interesting. So, well, I mean, you've been deputy mayor now for
almost 8 years.
8 years, okay. So, it's always been interesting to me, that connection of Syracuse and Syracuse University and Syracuse the city.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's different for you, and it probably is because you went to SU and then, you're deputy mayor. To me, it feels like there's sort of like this weird connection It doesn't feel like there's a divide between the university and the city.
I mean, and literally a divide. They're on the hill.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've never understood why. And I don't know if it's like leadership, not necessarily leadership in the city, but I know obviously the chancellor is going to be, this is his final year, I think. So I'm very curious to see if that changes. I've met people in the alumni, department up there who talked about trying to, really make a connection with like outgoing seniors and, just so that way years later when they're not at Syracuse and they come back for visit, they have those deeper connections.
Yeah.
Is that something,
Every time I'm at SU, I tell the story of my undergrad years there, and so I'm on the track team. I don't know what spring break was. We were working out or traveling on the track team. Over the summers, I would be in Syracuse working out on the track team. And one particular summer, it was my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and they were looking for interns for the Dunbar Center and wanted to go to the athletic department to see if there was someone who would want to come. So I'm sure they're looking for a basketball player or a football player. Yeah. And here I am working out in Manley Fieldhouse with all the guys in the weight room. Yeah. And then the athletic director came up to me and said, hey, I know you were talking about staying over the summer. Here's an internship opportunity to work with the kids. And then basically that's why I was pitched. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I was earned a degree in economics. Okay. So I just knew I was going to Wall Street in the finance district with, that background. And then I did that internship and it just changed the trajectory of my life. That's knew that I wanted to work with families. I wanted to work in the community. I wanted to stay in Syracuse from that moment on. And I tell students up there, you will not get the fullness and well-rounded experience of being a student until you get off that campus. Cool. So much of what you learn, when we talk about the chancellor, we had the two chancellors I've worked with is Nancy Cantor and Kent Severud. Two very different people. Yeah. And Nancy Severud actually invested the warehouse in Sankofa and really engaged in the West Side Initiative in the city. And then the board probably wanted to go a different way, and Kent is a very different chancellor and more of a research hospital. And the next chancellor, I hope, is a hybrid of both of them. Yeah. Because the research aspect of it, here you are with a city you're named after, that really you can really look at. There are housing needs. What are the environmental needs in our community, and the research. Much of the engagement of students is really that faculty up there, the Maxwell School, the Social Work School, the Education School, really engaging, the Business School, really engaging their interns to come off the campus and to come in the city. And I think that is how many of us ended up staying here, is because we got the exposure. Syracuse was wonderful, it was growing, I was intrigued by it, but I met the people. And once you meet the people, I'm married to Syracuse, and every other person I know that went to SU that is here married somebody from Syracuse, So it's all about really meeting the people here and engaging in Salt City, solid earth kind of people, just grounded people in just loving the city and wanting to make it all it can be. Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Geneva, New York.
Oh, okay.
Nice. In the Finger Lakes. So Hobart William Smith is there. Yeah. Another big lacrosse, place. Of course, my parents was like, it's a great school. And I was like, are you kidding? No, college is about leaving. So I wasn't ready to go far. Yeah. And I had a aunt who was working here at the time. And she said, well, I had always, from the Finger Lakes, traveled west to Rochester. Yeah. So that's where I was a lot. And here she was in Syracuse East, and I didn't come east much. Yeah. And she was like, you should come check out the campus. And so I came a couple times and said, I want to be here. I will never forget the moment I was going to start my first year here, and my parents went to the bank, and I remember going to a safety deposit box and their savings, their savings to help pay for me to go to SU. Wow. And the sacrifice they made for me to come here. And then that second year, just struggling financially, and the coaches on that team realized the capacity that I had and what I brought to the team and offered me a scholarship. That's cool. And at that time, it was a tuition scholarship. Okay. But it paid tuition, right? Yeah, for sure. So I lived off campus and still had the little dorm, the dormitory ticket or whatever to eat on campus. I went to class. I did track and work study.
Wow.
So it was busy for me up there.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. All right, here comes Rich with our appetizer, first course.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yum.
We have a pan here, seared halloumi.
Okay.
We got roasted corn salsa, heirloom tomatoes, and pickled shallots.
Beautiful.
Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a really great job here. Nice. I started going to Rochester for videos, and just restaurant visits.
Okay.
2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Yep.
You're a Christian, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is delicious.
Yeah. So you'll appreciate this story. I grew up, born again Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor's luncheon thing that I was at, right, at my parents' house of all places, because my parents host them. I host these monthly pastors' dinners or lunches.
My mom is I'm a PK.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My parents were never pastors when we were growing up, but what they didn't do in ministry on the pulpit, they did behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
If it was open, we were volunteering.
That's the real ministry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I got into all this, media stuff, is just, we were up there, and it was, you know what it's like, hey, we just got a new, projector, whatever it is, somebody has to figure out how to set it up, right? So, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I was at this pastor's luncheon, and I was like, man, I need to get out of Syracuse for what I do, for the influencer stuff. Just start traveling more of New York. I would every once in a while, but it's like I really need to start spending time outside of Syracuse.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to go to Rochester. I had never been to Rochester really to do anything. I didn't know any owners out there, have any connections. I just started putting myself on camera, so I still felt awkward doing it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go out on this day and do it. I get in my car, and I'm nervous. And I'm like, I'm going to go to Utica. I know Utica. I'm going to go to Utica. I know a couple places. And then I just felt like, no, go to Rochester. So, so I went to Rochester, went to a couple spots, but that city has 1 million, I shouldn't say that aggressively. That city, most of them have embraced me, where restaurant owners, I was just there on Friday, I'm walking down the sidewalk, and people are honking their horns and it's a completely, it's polar opposite. Not that Syracuse is doesn't, people around here, but in Rochester is just so much more.
Oh, wow.
And so for me coming, I spend so much time in Rochester and in Syracuse and in Utica, in those three cities, because I've got clients in all three. But it is amazing to go to Rochester and see these ideas, and then come back and tell my friends that own restaurants about them in Syracuse. I'm like, guess what they're doing out there, man? It's,
Right.
It's,
we need to change that dynamic here.
Yes.
Fun memory of Rochester is my first concert was in Rochester.
Okay.
I think I was 11. It was at Jackson 5.
Wow. My God, what was it like to see Jackson 5 in concert? Holy cow.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's like sports and music for me. Another funny story is I'm working at SU work study, and many times athletes were security at stuff.
Okay.
So there was an opportunity to do security at the Dome.
Okay.
It was Prince. So, of course, we're there, and we're not working.
Yeah.
We're all at the front of the stage.
My God.
Athletic director, whoever it was, came up. All the it's as usual. It's like all the football players, a few basketball players, mainly football players, and me. So they're up there, and they're like, "You guys get, the people who pay for tickets are complaining because we're all up front. Get in the back. You're supposed to be doing the work." And they usher all of them out because they're 6'3" and 300 pounds, and they don't see me over in the corner. So I just stayed there and watched Prince in the Dome, he was right there.
What year was that? 83?
It was probably around then.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
it was
wild.
Purple Rain. Purple Rain was out.
My God.
It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing.
First concert, Jackson 5, and then
Yeah,
Prince.
and then Prince.
Yeah.
Live in color.
What do you think is your favorite concert you've ever been to?
Boy, oh boy. That's interesting, because he was really a good one. We tried to go see a lot of them. I saw Janet Jackson when she came to the amphitheater. She was really good.
Yeah.
She was really, really good. Never have seen Beyonce live.
Okay.
She's a bit expensive for me.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
I mean, they're pricing themselves out. I mean, you can't afford to go.
No. Yeah, some of the concerts nowadays, it's such a different industry now because everything now is touring and social media. It's not record sales.
And I saw the last concert at the racetrack at the fair.
Oh, really?
Before they tore it down.
Okay.
It was Patti LaBelle.
Oh, was it really?
Oh, man. It was awesome.
That's great. Huh.
Awesome.
Do you remember where the Jackson 5 concert was? What venue was that?
They have an equivalent of a war memorial back then.
Gotcha. In Rochester?
That's where it was.
That's
this
cool.
is before they just built all the new stuff off of their harbor.
Yeah. That's cool. Man, I couldn't imagine being able to see Jackson 5 in concert. That's wild.
It was funny when my parents took us, of course. And it was funny. I just remember that there were some kids sitting in front of us. They're our age. They're there by themselves. I can hear my parents saying, I can't believe those kids are here at this concert by themselves.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I was a Michael Jackson fanatic.
I think one of the best things we've had for Syracuse in 10 years is the amphitheater. It's incredible. I mean,
I've been to multiple concerts out there.
Yeah.
And when you're there, and it's a controversy about
Right.
whether it should have been built, but I go to the concerts
Yeah.
there. When you're there and the sun starts setting, it's amazing.
I know. Yeah.
It's amazing. Little changes going on now. They used to let people bring their lawn chairs out. They're changing that now. Yeah.
It's we went to a show last year, and I was fortunate enough somebody gave me their VIP tickets. They're like a annual member,
Right.
And it was Counting Crows, which is my favorite band.
Oh, okay.
And so it was my wife and I, and then two of our friends went out, and the seats were awful because in that VIP section, you're in this deck that's lifted up, and you're not really a part of the concert.
You're not in the front.
Right. So if you want to go and have a conversation, some drinks, it's great. But if you want to be in it, it's
that
not.
happened to me at the fair this time. Someone said, yeah, got a ticket. I can't go.
Yeah.
A VIP. It's that little side thing. So we're watching it from the side, and I'm sitting there no, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I want to see it face on. And it was En Vogue was out there.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know the fair's has had great shows over the years, and that's awesome. But there's just something special about the amphitheater. It makes it. It's wow. Okay, Syracuse has this. We get these different artists that are coming out, and spanning every different genre. It's awesome.
And they sell it out. I mean, the traffic going out there. You're like, oh, I forgot there's a concert at the amphitheater. When I get on 690, I should have took another route.
All right, so not to go too serious with the conversation, but so early, but we're going to do it.
Okay.
I think with Mayor Walsh, I did it about 45 minutes into the episode. So, but it just thinking of the amphitheater, and then you made the statement something that maybe shouldn't have been built or how it was built. Not shouldn't have been built, but how it was, whatever the case was. What do you think of the aquarium? Because I can say, as somebody who now I have a lot of. I'm your typical sideline critic, right? Yeah. I love to criticize all the things that I wish were different in my city. Now ask me about all the things that I do to actually make it different.
Yeah.
And so, but that was the only time with the aquarium going into the county ledge vote that I've ever sent a letter, an email, or made a phone call to an elected official begging them to not vote in favor of it.
This is how I feel. Could have $85 million been used for housing, addressing homelessness, any of the ills that we have here, even economic development to be invested in infrastructure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ryan McMahon was able to get those votes.
Yeah.
So he got the votes. He got the initial money at least to get it going. There is a building there now. So as a city official and as the next mayor, how do I feel about that? It makes perfect sense for an aquarium to be on a body of water.
Yeah.
So do I want it on Onondaga Lake in Liverpool? Do I want it on Skinny Atlas Lake in the village in the town of Skinny Atlas, or do I want it in the inner harbor?
Yeah.
I picked the inner harbor.
For sure.
I was in the inner harbor for my husband and I went out. We seldom get a chance to do just personal go out stuff, so we went out to a event on the amphitheater in the inner harbor, and so I'm sitting there and I'm looking out at the water, and I'm looking at the piers, and I'm looking at just everything out there, and I'm like, this place has so much potential for what's going on. And over in the corner, I see the I see the building erected over there. I think scheduled to open next year.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right?
Right. But yeah, absolutely, you know, wow, $85 million, and it's not 85, it's up over 100 now.
Yeah.
And
that was county money, right? That's not city money.
It's all the city's in the county.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
You know.
I know that there is some, like, you know, some people have said the money had to be earmarked for something like that. It's not like it was like, hey, we've got 85. What should we spend it on? No, I know, an aquarium, right? I know. I mean, who knows, right?
Right.
When it comes especially to politicians and just government in general, as I'm getting older, have more of the opinion of God only knows what happens behind closed doors. In other words, it's very easy for me to sit here, for any of us to sit here and judge a headline or a decision and be like, well, why didn't they do that? But who knows what the conversation, you know, I've come to realize that, especially I think on a local level, there's very little malice that goes into people's decisions of like, I'm going to do that, you know, everybody thinks they're doing the right thing.
I believe that.
Yeah.
We just have different thoughts or processes about how we go about doing that.
Exactly.
For the most part, some things I think are just evil decisions.
For sure.
And opponents of mine have said, you know, been out there and saying, you know, Sharon supports the aquarium. What I support is being practical. There's a building there now.
Right, yeah.
So my concerns as the mayor, how are our children going to get access to it free of charge?
For sure.
Who's going to work there, and are they living wage jobs?
Yeah.
And who's building it?
Yeah.
Those are the things I'm focusing on.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good segue into this question, which is, how do you view, like, what do you view as the roles of the mayor of the city?
The role of the mayor is the chief executive officer of the city. That's why I kind of separate myself. I have executive experience, working not-for-profit, managing people, managing services, managing money.
Yeah.
And that is the role of the mayor. And the mayor to me also is that this is my first time ever running, so it may be part of campaigning. It's just the negativity about everything that's wrong. The mayor absolutely has to be the chief cheerleader for the city.
Yeah.
If I don't believe in my heart that this city is moving in the right direction with its challenges and addressing those challenges as well, I think that's the best part about my not starting in government. Government came to find me.
Yeah.
Stephanie Miner wanted me to come on after she saw the work I was doing at home headquarters.
Yeah.
So I served as a deputy commissioner in housing.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Very good.
Yes. And that's actually how I met Ben Walsh.
Oh,
Because
really?
he was the deputy commissioner of economic development.
Okay.
And so that's how I met him. But, you know, just being focused in on what is in the best interest of the people, whether they live, work, or play here. And I just see the immense potential here, but it has to be for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we have to address our poverty issues. 90% of our young people are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're going to school, they're part of the family, they're being silly, they're kids, right? It's the 10% that you read about in the news, stealing cars, engaged in violent activities. I've been criticized for wasting money, for investing in safer streets, for example.
For investing in what?
Safer Streets was an initiative to reduce gun violence. And the talking point is that she got them jobs. Yeah, we did. Of the 50 people that we had, thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Of the 50 people we identified, only 2 of them were rearrested. And people were like, well, it was 2 of them. It wasn't 48.
Yeah.
And you got them jobs. In a minute, a second ago, we were talking about poverty, household poverty. Poverty is a financial definition. And until we're really talking about getting people to work, increasing the income in their households, we're just blowing smoke.
Yeah.
What we are addressing and what we should be addressing are the residual effects of poverty. Limited housing choice, limited health choice, limited food choice. Great restaurant like this.
For sure.
But the root cause is money.
Yeah.
It's a financial definition. If your family makes lower than a threshold set by HUD, you are living in poverty. And childhood poverty is because the adults live in poverty. And so we have to address through workforce initiatives, which I'm very proud of, that I've worked on to get people to work. The 81 Project, when it was erected, it decimated the 15th Ward. And so the restorative justice part of that, which is just right, some things are just the right thing to do, right? Is to, we went through 10 years of back and forth about what should go there, and I never apologize about being pro community grid. Bringing that highway down. It's going to be brought down. But then we started talking about, okay, who's going to work on the highway? It needs to be people from those zip codes that were affected by that highway. I've never known Syracuse without that viaduct. So when it comes down, put my sneakers on, and I'm just going to stand there and soak it in. Because you're going to look around and see how different it is, right, with that thing gone. And so one of the individuals that worked on the project through Syracuse Build Pathways of Apprentice, I remember him telling us that it was the first time in his life that I think he was in his 30s, early 30s, first time in his life he's ever taken his family on vacation.
Wow.
That's what it's about. Work is not just about punching in and working yourself till you're exhausted and then going home and starting it over again. It's about improving the quality of life for you and your family. And to hear him say that, that's all I needed to hear. That is exactly what this is about.
We live on the north side on Hood Ave. And usually people say, oh, that's nice. And then I follow up with, no, it's not. It was the first house I ever bought. I bought it 10, 11 years ago. And I bought it for, I think, $74,000. Today, it's valued at $174,000, which is ridiculous. There's no way my house is worth. But that's housing in general, right?
This is this market in Syracuse right now.
Crazy. Crazy.
Which also presents an affordability temperature that we have to ensure that people are not being priced out of our city as we grow. Right?
I mean, I think about, we have our house is 1,000 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It's just my wife and, my son and I. So we don't need a huge house. I was very fortunate there was an empty lot next to my house.
Okay, good.
And so home headquarters had it, and they couldn't rebuild the house.
Not a buildable lot, not big enough,
And so they had torn down the house that was there, and I was able to buy it for $1. Okay, so, and it's great. We have a nice big yard in the city. When I think of the family, because we don't want, our son, we don't have to worry about him being in school now, but in a couple of years we do. And, to be frank, we don't want him to go to a city school, at least not when he hits a certain age, okay?
It's middle school when people start making different decisions.
And we want to do younger because we want him to sort of be in his school, my family, we moved back to Syracuse.
What's your neighborhood school?
Elementary. I don't know. I'm right across from McChesney Park, so, I went to West Hill, but we moved when I was 13. So I went to school with kids that they grew up from first grade together, So we want him to be in that sort of but long story short, the family that could live in my house most likely can't afford to buy my house.
$175,000. That's what it's valued at, but you're going to sell it for more than that if you can.
And it's crazy.
Right.
I mean, how are, I own my own business. My wife works for the state. She's, Department of Health. So we're fine. But I don't understand how people can afford to get out of it, and even rent for apartments is crazy. Yeah. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is
this is a new problem for us.
Yes, it is. And Deputy Mayor Owens. I did graduate from West Hill, but before that, I was homeschooled and I was raised in Kentucky. And I always use that to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? Now, having said that, everything I read, everything I watch, I listen to right now is recession, right? I mean, we should have had one as a country, COVID, lapsed that. Things are crazy expensive. People's wages haven't gone up, to meet housing and all that kind of stuff. My biggest fear isn't that recession comes. It's that for Syracuse that we have this carrot of Micron dangling over our heads and that we won't be as affected. And that things are still going to be crazy expensive, but people's wages aren't coming. And what does that do to housing and everything?
So a couple of things with Micron. One of the things that, because they receive a lot of support from the state, to be here. One of those has to do with workforce development. Kathy Hochul, I think, has invested maybe $250 million for semiconductor industry workforce training. Has identified Syracuse as the flagship city. So it's Syracuse, Buffalo, and Rochester. And Syracuse is the flagship. How long has it been that Syracuse has never been the flagship? When you put those three cities together, here we are in this place, right? What we cannot do is the mistakes that we did in the 90s. When I left the campus at SU, many of the friends that I met and hung out with, parents worked at New Process Gear, Carrier Corporation, GE, Miller Brewery, all of those factories. Many of them with a high school diploma, were able to buy their first home, sent their kids to college. Those kids came back from college. When I met them as my friends, they went and worked in those factories because they were making more in those factories than that degree would have earned them back in the 90s. But when all of those companies started downsizing, there was no transition plan for that workforce. So either you had to follow the job, which really speaks to much of the property we have in very specific neighborhoods where they became absentee landlords, or they were sold to speculators who are always in our community trying to buy up stuff. And it really started to affect the quality of the housing in many neighborhoods in this city. Or they stayed and were paid much less than they were being paid in those factories. We can't make that mistake again. So here we are, really working on the workforce and education initiatives around this semiconductor industry. And it's just not Micron, it's all of the residual companies that come with it, right? On-ramp, which the on-ramp acronym I cannot think of right now, but it is that flagship training entity. It is going to be housed right on Salina Street in MLK. So where the old Sears building was that was there forever, it's been acquired.
That's cool.
We're going to renovate it, invest $80 million in that stretch of that neighborhood, right? I sit on that board. So very much purpose for ensuring that this generation of workforce, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, particularly now that they can go to OCC for free, are prepared. And OCC has really jumped in, and SU, but OCC in particular, with the clean room simulation class that can bring people in there and teach them. I always talk to the people at Micron that you have to demystify what this is, because when they talk about Micron Semiconductor and creating this technology that's critical to our phones working and the like, I'm like, what are you talking about? What does this mean? I said, what is Micron 101? Tell us. And as I began to understand it, it's a big warehouse, clean room. It's sterilized clean room. You got the white, hazmat things on, not the whole hazmat, but the jump around. And for the most part, it's welding. And I was like, we could teach our folks that. And so that is what we're doing. That is what OCC is doing. That is what this on-ramp facility that we're ramping up now is going to do. We learned the model with 81 in training individuals and getting the professionals who are actually going to be contracting to do this work to be the trainers, so that they can see who they've trained, so they will bring them on. I got so tired of seeing people with a stack of certificates of completion and no job.
Yeah.
So we changed that dynamic to say we are training to the employer, making the employer part of the training initiative.
Yeah.
So we may not be the show me state, but Syracuse is the show me town, and we are the show me people. And so people are like, I don't believe anything until I see a shovel in the ground. You know, I don't believe Micron's here until I actually see some construction started.
Oh.
You know,
The amount of conversations I've had or heard over the last year of, I heard from this person that it's not happening, and I heard from this person it's back on, and this person, yeah, you know.
well, there's two things. One is that New York State has invested too much for it not to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And two is that the president actually is not anti that industry, which is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we could be in trouble if he would, decide to go after the semiconductor industry, right? So those are two things in our favor. It is all the tax benefits and all of that, and Clay is just about to be completely changed.
Yeah.
I remember going out to the location where they were doing a ribbon cutting to get started on some of the borings and the environmental stuff. And I remember going down the road that the site is going to be on, and it was really eerie because by that time all of the homeowners had been bought out.
Yeah.
And it was just all of these houses, and most of them looked like they weren't more than 5 years old.
Yeah.
And just looking at it, it was like, wow, this is. It almost felt like old Western, like you know, and you hear the whistle in the background, and that's what it felt like. But yeah, I believe it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Here's a good break for us with our entree.
Awesome.
For our next course, we have Hudson Valley Rabbit
Ooh,
with carrot puree, collard greens, and Parisian dumplings.
Hudson Valley. Awesome.
Man, look at that.
Look at that.
Thanks, man. I know it's a weird, it's one thing that Mayor Walsh said to me the last time that or maybe it was the first time, but I was, he said, listen, the job of the mayor is he said, my job is to make sure your trash is picked up, police and fire are taken care of, and they can get there on time. And he's like, that's my, that at the end of the day is my job. Because I think
this is delicious.
Yeah. The question I had for him, because he came in from Stephanie Minor, I believe, right?
Yep. So he was right after Stephanie Minor. So he was elected in 17 and came in 18.
Yeah.
So I came in with him in 18.
So coming in, then me being younger, not really knowing what I was talking about, still don't. But, former Mayor Stephanie Minor was very big on the sanctuary city.
Yeah.
And had gotten a lot of national headlines at the time. And so one of my questions to Mayor Walsh at the time was, are you sort of going to be chasing those similar things, like trying to get yourself in the headline, national attention? That was an unfair judgment of Stephanie Minor because I don't know her. But that's when he made the statement, listen, my job is to make sure the trash is picked up, So is it difficult to sort of like, Micron's happening, the aquarium's happening, different things are happening in the county that your city's in, and well, yeah, you're going to be the mayor of Syracuse.
A flourishing Syracuse has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to happen for the larger county.
Yeah.
And because of the diversity of our city, you can not be engaged in particularly culturally triggering kind of conversations, because there are 82, I believe it's either 82 or 84 languages in our school district.
Wow.
Yes. You don't get much more diverse than that.
Yeah, that's wild. I had no idea.
And we have a community that is very afraid right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Watching what's going on. Our notifications about ICE activities are because constituents and residents call us up and say they're in this neighborhood or that neighborhood.
Wow.
They don't notify us. Federal government doesn't tell us.
Wow.
Doesn't tell the mayor's office, doesn't tell the police department. We find out from the neighbors. So neighbors keep calling, letting us know, because you are how we find out.
Yeah. maybe I missed it. Have there been has there been a lot of ICE activity in Syracuse since this all started?
It's been spotted, yeah. Maybe that we know of right now about 5 incidences.
Okay.
Maybe about 5 incidences.
Yeah.
And it's been in different parts of the city. Nothing like what we've seen in what we saw in Cato.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I couldn't imagine to even say I can't imagine what that's like to not just be the person that's like it's experiencing it, but just the family, the kids. I mean,
those kids came home and their parents were gone.
Yeah, it's awful.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. It's beyond awful. I mean, I know it's not. I know we're getting away from Syracuse, but
it affects our folks.
It does. Yeah.
82 languages.
How do you process that as your position now and what your position's going to be?
As the mayor, one thing is that we just assure our residents, our family, that police are not going to serve as ICE agents.
Yeah.
The sheriff has proclaimed that he will not detain people who are not would have been normally released from incarceration. Many times I have to lay out the differences between city government, county government, school district, right?
Yeah.
And it is the county that runs the jail system.
Yeah.
The mayor, has charge over the police department and the fire department.
Yeah.
And so the county sheriff has said that he is not going to detain people for ICE if they were going to be released anyway, right? I don't think there's many people that will argue that if it is a criminal situation, we want to ensure that people are doing harm to our residents.
Right.
They're arrested.
Yeah.
And get due process,
For sure.
regardless of their status.
Yeah.
But they haven't been going after criminals.
Yeah.
Now the argument is you're in the country illegally.
Yeah.
Some of them have been businesses, paying taxes. The people in Cato who are working in that company were paying payroll taxes. Our families going to be reimbursed for the taxes that they invested in the community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's because, like you said, on one hand it is a crime. On another hand, it's immoral to rip somebody away from their family like that.
Cool. It's a cool policy.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I heard I heard that third hand, so maybe I won't say it. And I've heard some other stuff firsthand that I can't say on camera. We'll talk about afterwards. But yeah, it's. I can't imagine what it's like to be in the position you're in now, but also the position you're going to be, because I'm scrutinized for. I mean, I open up my phone sometimes and I get comments like, "I hope you choke on the next chicken tender you eat." And all I'm doing is out there eating chicken tenders and saying, wow. So I can't imagine.
It said one thing that somebody doesn't agree with.
Yeah.
It is that discourse in this community, in this country right now.
For sure.
That I may not agree with you, but I agree with your right to say, as long as it is not doing fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
But criticism is nonstop.
Yeah.
But in the microcosm of those that are the loudest voices, they're the smallest group.
Yeah.
So you think it's everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's usually one person. The scary thing though, like I've gotten this way where like my personal social media has gone to just close friends or family members.
I got off Facebook 9 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
It was the best thing I did.
Yeah. I just couldn't. I got a death threat from a restaurant owner last year.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. In our community, unfortunately. Who was literally like, the next time I see you, I'm going to shoot you. Because after I very rarely put out negative videos where I say I don't like the food. Just a rule. I started this business because I met
but Yelp does the same thing, right?
Does the same thing. But I started Eat Local to help restaurants that couldn't get their word out. And so that's why I started it 10 years ago. So that was just kind of the rule. If I don't like the food, I just don't post a video. And I've broken that rule maybe twice over the years. And this was one of those times. And then the owner, long story short, it ended in that. So because of that.
It was that time out of a very poor, rash decision to.
Yeah.
And then it stopped?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
From the owner, you mean? Mm-hmm. No, unfortunately. It led to me, actually, when I came to Taste of Syracuse this year, I had to hire a private security guard to follow me because the owner, 6 months later, said, I can't wait to see you down there. So.
Speaking of security, people are just the temperature.
Oh.
Talking to me.
Oh.
I have a couple friends who would be very concerned that I, not walking downtown, but it's just me,
Yeah.
And so, these times are really.
Yeah. I've gotten very particular on that, and in so many different ways. We don't put our son on, like,
right.
My son's never on our Eat Local post,
right.
that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And so, how do you? I know you've experienced it already. I mean, not even just in these debates. I mean, watching that debate on WCNY the other day. I mean, it's crazy. I just can't fathom.
And I don't spend time talking about other people. I talk about me.
Yeah, as you should, right? Yeah, that's how you should run a campaign.
Right.
If you're talking about the other person the entire time, you're not.
Clearly, you don't have anything to say about what you want.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I took a picture of this and his mailer. I don't know. Oh dear God, has anybody sent it to you?
I've seen the billboard. The mailer, the back of it with me.
I thought it, not because of what it said, but when I first flipped it over and just saw Sharon Owens at the top, I was like,
whose mailer is it?
Yeah. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. And then when I was like, this is the worst.
And it's inaccurate.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you just personally, emotionally deal with that?
2020 was the fork in the road for me. It was a very tough year.
Okay.
For two reasons. COVID, clearly.
Yeah.
We were trying to just keep people alive.
Yeah.
We had a president telling people to insert bleach,
Yeah.
and people were believing it.
Yeah.
And then people were, particularly African Americans are, averse to
For sure.
injections and
Right.
vaccines and all of that. And we're really just trying to work with people to know that you should get this vaccination.
Yeah.
By virtue of the work I have, I got COVID 3 times.
Wow.
Because you're just out,
Yeah.
People had to eat. We had to go,
Yeah.
We couldn't lock ourselves in. We had to get out there and make sure people who were sick and needed care got the care they needed. And the other was the murder of George Floyd. So, again, my background was working in the community at that time, 30 years.
Yeah.
At kitchen tables and living rooms, Head Start, all of that, working with folks. And social justice protests start. One thing about Syracuse that I really appreciate is that Rochester was burning. Buffalo was having some really violent incidences. That didn't happen here.
Yeah.
One thing that we did, we had
the one night.
That one night. And that really started as a peaceful protest, and
Yeah.
the people wanted to just,
For sure. And I will say, like, the other hand of that is, when I saw the Facebook Live of that, there's a couple of them, that next morning I was down here at like 7 a.m.
Right.
driving around, just seeing everything was already, everybody was helping, it was
Yes,
out.
do you remember that? Everybody got out and just cleaned it all up.
Yeah.
And it was the voices of the community that said, this is not who we're going to be.
Yeah.
And then on our side, on the city side, we had the one particular group that did the 40 days of marching.
Yeah.
And so it was Kenton Buckner was the chief at the time, and he said, we're going to escort them.
That's cool.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget, they were like, we're going to walk to DeWitt. And he would call ahead and say, don't worry about it, it's going to be okay. Just when we leave out, you guys just pick them up, and then they'll turn around and come back.
Yeah.
And he coordinated with the organizers, Salve. It'll be cool, don't worry about it. They're going to go walk out there. Those were the walkingest people I've ever seen in my life. But that year was hard for me because I had been in the community for over 30 years. And for some people who 2 years earlier, before the election, before I came on, saw me as this individual that is socially conscious and care about people, all of a sudden, because I was in government, I was the enemy. And that was hard for me. Really, really hard. That was hard for me. To be told that I changed. It wasn't me that changed, it was you that changed.
Yeah.
Because I'm still the same person. Behind City Hall, I'm the one working with the mayor to say we need to do this and we need to do that, and going to rallies and working with the police so they didn't feel like the whole world was against them here in Syracuse, right? But it was at that moment that I really came to an understanding that, Sharon, you have to do what you believe is right. Your foundation of just what is right for humanity. Use your influence to affect that as much as possible. People are going to believe or not believe what they want. And that was 2020. 2020 was the year I really was reconsidering whether I wanted to do the job.
Yeah.
It was tough. Between people, I'm thankful, none of my immediate family passed away, but I had friends.
Yeah.
Their elderly families were dying, and they were in New York City or in another city, and they couldn't even get to them, And then we had the marching going on in the middle of the pandemic, and so we're just trying to make sure that people are safe. That was a tough year.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to be the next mayor of Syracuse, I hear a lot of criticism about the way the city government operates, just how slow it is in a lot of areas. And so, behind the scenes and whatnot, right? Especially people that are trying to open a restaurant or something, and things can take forever. What are the things you hope to change?
So one thing that we have changed right now is we started outsourcing. In government, there are staff who have their assignments, and sometimes you can create little fiefdoms, right? So, particularly in the permitting, we started to outsource.
Okay.
So the idea was we're going to outsource to professional companies who are engineering and design companies, licensed architects, to review the permits. And some of the pushback was like, well, no, how do we know they're going to, do it the way we would do it? Because they have a license, and they're not going to sacrifice their license for anyone, right? And so the bottom line was, and this is kind of the way Sharon is, we're going to do it. So we started outsourcing to multiple firms who now review them 10 at a time, so we can turn them over. We went online, the online portal now, to submit your application, submit your drawings. Everything is reviewed online. The communication, which was always the problem, back and forth, gives a record. The other thing we started doing is that many times the owner hires the design professional architect, and we're communicating with that professional and not the owner. And then the owner's like, you're costing me money, my bank is screaming. And so now we brought the owner in, so that information, so they're seeing real time what we're doing at the same time. We want to, we want to expand that. I'm going to be working with the council to add more funding to that process. I think that is really what's going to turn the dime for us. The other thing for housing, particularly affordable housing, what we implemented was standardized housing plans. So there are 4 pre-approved housing plans for the affordable housing side. If you have any one of those, there's no plan review. If you stick to that plan, and there are 5 different options, you're just submitting that. You're putting in the applications for the permits, and it's signed up because you put. Now, if you go outside of that, we have to go through review. So most of them are like, no, choice 3. That's the one we're doing. And so that has sped that up too.
That's cool.
The other thing for housing that I'm really going to be leaning into is our zoning makes affordability. So like neighborhoods, new neighborhoods like downtown that would continue to grow. If you're building or substantially rehab, and you're building above a certain number, there has to be a certain number of affordable units in there. It's a law in the zoning code now. So new construction that happens, that hotel that converted, a percentage of those 12% of those have to be affordable.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be interesting who leases those.
Yeah.
Because they're like $1,700 for a very small room. Yes.
That's not the affordable side, is it?
That's not the affordable side. The affordable side is 80% AMI. It's a percentage of what the identified affordability standard is for the city for Syracuse metropolitan area.
Yeah.
But it's much less than that.
I forget this show. I think it was an HBO show. The story is this couple gets one of those apartments in New York City, and it's in this glamorous apartment building, and the apartment building has every amenity like sauna, indoor tennis court, all this stuff. And it's this couple that's like, they've got this small section, and everywhere they're trying to go, it's like, oh, that's not for the affordable house, you know. So
everything is for everyone.
That's cool.
Yeah, whether my daughter is downtown.
Yeah.
And she's entry level. It's one of the buildings that has some affordable units in it. So that's how she's able to live in the building. And maybe that's the only way she'll buy a house is that she earns money. She won't get the affordable rent. And then, because the rents that, like, you can own a home. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, when I bought my house, I was just so ignorant to the whole process. I was looking at apartments, and I remember a friend
You should have went through Home Headquarters First Time Home Buyer Program.
Yeah, oh, really?
I used to teach that.
Yeah? I don't know. I mean, I forget. I mean, I was working at Metro Mattress at the time, which hopefully somebody, I don't know, they closed. Hopefully apparently I've heard is someone else is coming in to buy them.
Probably going to put housing units in it.
Yeah.
There's not one building
Yeah.
in this vicinity that you would look and say, oh, that's retail.
Yeah.
Or that's, commercial or a restaurant. There are people living in that building.
Yeah. Metro Mattress is a wild company. It started in downtown Syracuse. I forget the woman's name, but it was a woman who started the company, and then years later, I think they were downtown with a showroom, and then there was that big fire downtown back in the day, and then they moved out to the suburbs. But yeah, I mean, Syracuse-based company, and stores all over the state, and then they're belly up. But I was working at Metro Mattress at the time, making an okay income, but I was looking at apartments, and this is, 2015, 2014, and a friend is like, why would you get an apartment for that? You could just go get a house. I was like, what are you talking about, get a house for that? And, so that's what led me to buy the house. But looking at rents today in apartments, because we're, always looking at houses, I can't get over what some of them are.
They turn over quickly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the governor did recently that was approved and it's law now is that LLCs cannot put in an offer for a house for the first 90 days it's on the market.
Oh, okay.
I have a coworker who was telling me all last summer, it's like, I'm looking for a house. As soon as the weather broke and spring came around, he said, yeah, I'm looking for a house. And so every week or a few days, I would say, how's it going? And he said 5 times he was outbid cash offer. 5 times cash offer.
Crazy.
He's a young professional, earning a decent living as a single young professional, no kids, no spouse or anything.
Yeah.
Cash offer.
Yeah.
The other thing we're monitoring, and I think there's going to be legislation coming up around monitoring short-term rentals.
Okay.
The Airbnbs.
Yeah.
There are about 400 downtown.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
It's amazing. That business is crazy.
It is. I have a friend who owns an Airbnb, and he was like, don't touch my Airbnb. I said, I'm not looking to bother your Airbnb. I want to know where you are, and you're going to pay me a fee for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and then even like the long-term rentals for traveling nurses and stuff, it's wild, that business.
I'm so happy for nurses right now.
Yeah.
Because they were just the unappreciated industry for so long, and now they write their own ticket.
Yeah, for sure.
I have nursing friends who are like, oh, you're in town? No, I'm in Georgia. No, I'm in California. How long you be there? Oh, I'll be back in a couple months. Yeah, I got a contract and I'm out there.
Yeah.
Earning crazy money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So this is probably an unanswerable question. What do you think is the chief problem that you're going to face as the next mayor?
Can't say one. Well, the first one is we run about $25 to $30 million deficit every year. Just the amount it costs to run the city versus the revenue we're bringing in. 48% of property owners in the city carry 100% of the tax burden.
Yeah.
You know, because we're eds and meds. It's not unique to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Those great institutions are economic drivers, but they pay no taxes.
Yeah.
And so working with the council to really collectively begin a process of really looking into the future of Syracuse. We have a healthy fund balance of about $100 million now. It's called a rainy day fund in case it rains. You know, COVID was a rainy day, right? So really working with them to really shrink how much we're spending, but really increase how much revenue we're bringing in and looking at options for that. Because it costs money to run a city. Yeah. Particularly the three major drivers are on the city side, expense side, are police, fire, and DPW. Those are the main expense drivers. And then there are costs that we have no control over. Pension costs, insurance costs. They raise. We don't control that market, but we still have to cover our employees and cover those who work for us and retired and pension costs. So gas prices to run those DPW trucks and fire trucks and police vehicles, that we don't control those costs. Yeah. You know.
It's all up and it's going up.
Yeah. Yeah. On the human side, on the operation side of things, it's really for me it all starts. Life starts for people day to day where you lay your head. Is it clean? Is it safe? Is it affordable?
Were you a social worker?
That's my background. Coming through, huh?
I used to work with a foster care family, and you know the three questions that the kids get asked on every visit is like, what did you have for dinner last night? Who cooked it? Who does your laundry? Yeah.
Yeah, as a mom, my son's autistic, but he started. I taught him how to start washing his clothes when he was 7.
Okay.
All the socks were blue. So we just started buying black socks. But to this day, my family member was like, oh, I got to go home and wash my son's clothes. And he was like 12. I was like, you wash his clothes? No way. No way.
That's funny.
You know, Isaac washes his own clothes.
Yeah.
But housing, as this economy grows, it has to grow equitably. Yeah. People need to feel it. If they don't feel it, I say it all the time, if they don't feel it in their wallets and their purses, it's not real. And so we have to make sure that people are able to get these. And those entry-level jobs at Micron are like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. That's game-changing money for people.
For sure.
And hopefully that means that 60% of our population rent. So hopefully...
Wow.
Renting is a big thing. It's a big challenge for us. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that, and we're going to be working hard to change that dynamic. Again, the poverty conversation. At the end of my first term, I want to see us have cut that child poverty rate at least in half. Get that thing. I want to be off that list. Yeah. Is my ultimate want.
For sure.
That top 10 list. We're not 1 anymore. We're 4. I don't want to be on it anymore. Yeah. You know, we're better than that. We're a better community than that. Crime. Reducing our crime rates across the board have gone down 29% across the board. But it doesn't matter when you go home and somebody stole your Amazon package.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it is a quality of life crime that we have, through both proactive policing and the community-based gun and violence reduction efforts, really have, and the police will say this themselves, that partnership has been what has allowed that reduction in violent crime to come down. So I really want to focus in on being able to address the quality of life crimes. You know, I think I am convinced there's another crew of little baby car bandits running around, because my Ring camera neighborhood, app thing.
I hate that thing.
I look at it sometimes. It'll bling. I think I got it programmed for certain things.
Okay.
Like I don't want to hear about the cat, but car stuff again.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not just Syracuse. Fayetteville, Clay, DeWitt.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Recently, a common council had her car stolen. So I was texting. She blasted on Facebook and she found the car. And I said, "Oh man, was it trash?" She said, "No, just this, and this." She said they ran out of gas. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. We've had little things at the house. I think the biggest thing that we had was just after the pandemic, or like maybe late 2020, early 2021, we had somebody get into the house and steal a bunch of stuff when we were out. So that was the worst thing. We've had just some car.
That's the worst.
things.
I mean, I had a person who was talking to me one time and was like, people defending themselves in their homes because you've come in their home, and they're like, those are our babies and you can't threaten our babies. And I was like, they don't know who that shadow is in their house that came through the kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay out of people's homes.
Yeah.
That happened to my husband and I. My husband is obsessed with Ring cameras.
Okay.
And so there's one on our back porch.
Yeah.
And it's 4 a.m. and his phone goes off because I cannot convince him to take the ringer off and just make it buzz and stop waking me up. But it goes off at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So we're up and he's up and he gets up and I said, that's the back. And so he goes out, he goes to the back, they hear him, they take off to the front. I was so upset with him. He's got his shoes on, he goes out the front door, he gets in the car, he follows the car that they jumped in. And I'm like, Sean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Every particularly man that I tell this story is like, I don't blame Sean.
I don't know if I'd chase him.
He shouldn't have chased him. You don't know what was in that car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so when people talk about downtown, and I was like, my daughter lives downtown.
Yeah.
I'm very conscious about downtown. I had some time to kill, so I parked on Salina just to park there to see theaters out and see how things were going. And it was pretty quiet, and people were walking. And I had a friend who came back home to visit. And she was here for about a week, and we were going to meet for dinner. And she came, and she was like, it's probably been about 10 years since she's been home. And she was like, what is going on? There are people down there walking dogs. People are like chilling in front of the Chase Bank. What is going on? I said, it's a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
Downtown is the beating heart, but the arteries that are pumping life in and out of downtown are all of those connected neighborhood corridors.
For sure.
North and South Salina, East and West Fayette, East and West Genesee, Butternut, Burnett, all of those streets that we have to continue to invest in.
Yeah, for sure.
For all those buildings that have kind of gone uninvested. Your side of town, one of the challenges for us on the north side of town is site control. Because the taxes are so low that sight unseen, speculators just buy it, pay the taxes. That's nothing in their LLC, right? So what we're really looking through with our housing strategy is just bite the bullet, and we're going to start proactively buying property. It's going to cost us, but we got to get it out of the hands of these property owners. Yeah,
for sure.
The South Side was so disinvested in for so many years that there's property, available that we can build on.
Yeah.
But other parts of town, that's not so much the case.
Yeah.
Because owners have it and they just warehouse it. Yeah. And I want to make it hard for you to just sit on a vacant house.
Oh, for sure.
You're going to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to make it uncomfortable for you to just sit on it.
Right. Yeah. Only other thing I really would, there's 1,000 things I'd love to talk to you about.
We can come back.
Yeah. After Election Day, we'll come back maybe. And I don't know if this is even your problem as the next mayor. It is and it isn't, but what do you do? It's actually, I'll go this way. I wanted to ask you about Butternut. I'm going to ask you about this instead.
Okay.
Because I drive up and down Butternut every day. And Mike Green, who's, I work for Mike at Harvey's and stuff,
That's a great venue. He did a great job over there.
Yeah, I know. He had his, campaign announcement from that old White Castle, right? President Trump, before he got elected, was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And go figure, middle-aged white guy. I listen to Joe Rogan all the time, right? And so, but
he's kind of changing his tune a little bit too, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah. It is pretty interesting to see, as somebody who's listened to him for years, how liberal he's sort of always been. Mm-hmm. And there's just these, but whatever. But the thing that he said, that he asked Trump, that he'd said for like a year or two, if I ever interview him, the first question, what's it like? You're in office day one, what is it like? And, President Trump was just, annoying as hell on that podcast, right? As he is with everything, whenever he's like speaking, but on that especially was. But eventually he's like talking around. Eventually he was like, answer the damn question, like, what was it like? And so kind of what he said was, he wasn't prepared for, you're in office and you have to go hire 800 positions. 800 positions, you don't even know fully what they're supposed to be doing or who the people are. Sure. And so I made a ton of bad decisions.
But do you really have to hire 800 people?
Yeah. Well,
some of those folks, this whole rhetoric that, the federal employees were just the worst people on the face of the earth. Yeah. No, they are not.
Yeah.
And that's in any level of government. I get from, wipe everything clean. That's just bad business.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there is, making tweaks to certain positions that I think need to be changed.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing some of that. I know day one for me, I'm going to be making sure people can move around in snow. I will never forget, we were first day, Mayor was there on January 1. I came in on January 2nd, and it was maybe, of his new team, 3 of us there.
Okay.
The other maybe 4 or 5 they were waiting for, they gave notice from another job. So it's a couple weeks, right? Yeah. We had to have had a nor'easter that New Year's Day, that New Year's. And this is a whole conversation about respecting people who know where the light switch is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You may want to put on a new light switch, but you don't even know where it is. You're feeling your way in the dark. And so we're here in a snowstorm calling folks at DPW to make sure that we can get people, the second people are going back to work and get them plowed out. So it's a and that's what managers do. Yeah. They're not reckless in the decisions they make. They have to make practical sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of going in with an advantage, right? I mean, you've been there for however many years now, right? Since 2018.
I know how things are going. Some things I'm pleased with. Other things I'm gonna make a change. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're sort of like the manager of it all. So, and you've
and the manager and the visionary with a whole bunch of other support for where we can go. Yeah. It's the making city run while you're trying to keep it moving. Yeah. And that is the important balance.
You feel like you have the plan ready to go on day one of, all right, this is the vision, these are the people that need to help make it happen. Do you have that sort of plan? I mean,
I kind of do. It'll change day after election.
For sure.
Day after Thanksgiving, day after, going into the new year. Some immediate things, some transitional things, first 100-day kind of scenarios. Yeah. Thinking about those things. I always jinx. I'm always doing this, let me get to November 4th before I start doing all this kind of stuff.
I was thinking about this, though, in that debate with some of your competitors, if that's the right word, and that is that they were throwing out their plans, and I was just thinking to myself, have you talked to the chief of police?
Exactly.
Have you gone and said, hey, I know I'm running, and I'm not in position yet, but I'm thinking that this would be my plan.
The whole thing about, police started retiring in big numbers in 2020 and 2021, and that's all Sharon's fault. Police left policing all over this country after George Floyd. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And the 3 years prior to this year were the lowest numbers of retirements we've had. So, I work with the police, and I think they understand me that I'm going to support you when you're right, and I'm gonna ask the right questions and hold you accountable when you're not. Yeah. And that's fair. Mm-hmm. And so I just am fascinated at how much time people spend worried about me. What are you gonna do? Even in the debate, the moderator had to say, no, what are you going to do? I had to hear my name 15,000 times that day.
You've got a town hall coming up, right?
I have 3 events this week.
Okay.
So we have Citrus at Syracuse University tomorrow. And then I have taping with Channel 9 on Wednesday.
Okay.
And then the Central Current Town Hall is on Thursday.
Okay.
And then we're into the last stretch.
Then you do the last stretch.
And November 4th can't get here fast enough for me.
Well, thank you so much for coming to do this. I appreciate it on a Sunday night.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is great. Thank you for accommodating my schedule, too.
Of course, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.